And give the states more power, give back some state rights.
Ultimately, the people are supposed to have the power. That's the way I understand it. Individuals, okay? We only create governments, as Tim said, to protect one another from fraud and violating people's rights.
But the founding fathers were not individualists. I mean, John Adams would have called us the rabble and been annoyed at the amount of power we have in the middle class, for example. I mean, the founding fathers came from a huge spectrum of ideology and tried to build in the protections of their ideology into the Constitution, which is where we have a lot of the tension that we see. Why we have 5-4 Supreme Court decisions, for example.
Well, the philosophy of individualism is actually contained in our primary founding document, Declaration of Independence, where it states that we're endowed with certain unalienable rights, which is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those are individual values, not collective values. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up, because one of the issues I have with conservatives, and one thing that I've seen in some Tea Party organizations is a move to strengthen immigration enforcement and immigration laws, as in shut the gates, keep everybody out. And, this ultimately ends up being focused on Mexico primarily, not so much the white Canadians. We're fine with them. They sound just like us. But if you embrace the Declaration of Independence as one of our founding documents, and it says all men are created equal and endowed with these inalienable rights, why doesn't that apply to people of other countries?
It does.
It applies to them to the extent that they enter this country legally.
Exactly.
So we're okay with government, federal government, enforcing and creating immigration laws and strengthening.
Actually, one of the things that the federal government is supposed to do is protect the borders, right? Is that true or false?
From hostile invasion, but I mean, somebody coming over here to pick strawberries, how hostile can they possibly be?
There are legal ways to do that.
Do we want a system of laws or a system of whim? That's really the bottom line, and that's what I think there should be a system of laws. We talked about earlier, off air. Anarchy is a concept, but anarchy can't work really, and the only way you could have freedom is to have a set of laws. That's the only way you can have freedom. So what do we do? If you don't like the Constitution, if you don't like the idea of there being legal Americans or something, it's legal citizenship, if you don't like that, you can change that. However, to just ignore things and just let people break laws left and right, well, which laws should we allow people to break this week or next year? Which laws are we going to actually uphold? I say we uphold the laws, and if we don't like certain laws, we change them according to the methodology of the legal,
But our immigration laws have evolved over the last 2 centuries and are much stronger, and they've taken on a different tone.
They're very burdensome, and I would agree that they need to be relaxed. We need to get rid of immigration quotas. We need to make the legal immigration process much easier for people who want to come to the freest nation on earth. But I think that if there's any reason you can think of to screen someone who's coming into this country for disease or criminality or what have you, then you favor immigration laws.
Okay. So, in the last couple of minutes, what does the Tea Party locally hope to accomplish this year? I mean, obviously, you guys have organized for a reason.
We've got an election cycle coming up.
We're right in the midst of midterm elections. We've got some hot local races. But if someone asked you, what's the Tea Party hope to accomplish here locally, Tim, what would your answer be?
Well, we want to make the local community aware of our concerns and our values and educate them on important philosophical issues. And we also want to influence politics, not just locally. We also have a national focus as well. Right now, our key focus is on, during this election season is on getting a Liberty candidate elected to District 11 in North Carolina.
And
we've already selected and endorsed one candidate for that.
In one primary, will you endorse a candidate in the Democratic primary?
We have invited all candidates who are running for District 11 to our debate and our straw poll, and Democrats didn't show up.
Okay.
Well, I see
So
the
they
front
were
runner in
not
the
on the ballot.
Republican Party. He Schuler didn't show up for your debate either. That's our joke here.
what?
Yeah.
For whose debate?
The front runner of the Republican Party, he Schuler didn't show up for the Tea Party
He
debate
doesn't
either.
show up to debates.
Okay, and that
I
begs
get it.
the question. You've got a rally coming up on the 11th at noon at Heath Schuler's Asheville
tomorrow.
office. That's tomorrow. Wow, the week has flown by. And you're protesting healthcare. And you're protesting healthcare in front of the office of the man who is consistently voted against healthcare. Are you doing this because he's one of your guys, or what's the purpose of picking Heath Schuler's office?
No, he's not one of our guys. We actually selected Dan Eichenbaum as one of our guys.
But what's the purpose of protesting healthcare at Heath Schuler's office? Because he's consistently denied the need for healthcare reform.
Heath Schuler is our representative, and we have a particular point of view that we would like him to adopt. He has voted against health care, but for the wrong reasons. Now, if he continues to vote against health care reform for the wrong reasons, that's fine with me. We want to make sure that he continues doing that.
Okay.
But you're against the current health care reform plan.
I am.
Okay. And we want to invite you guys back and get into that a little bit more. That's a hot button issue right now. If you guys would be willing to come back on the show, we'd like to dig further in some issues. And we appreciate both of your time today to come on Local Edge Radio, the Asheville Tea Party folks. And they're going to be rallying tomorrow in front of Heath Schuler's office. And the scary thing with all that, you might see Lesley and I there too, because we've got some problems with our congressman too. We just don't like that he doesn't communicate.
We just
with
like
anybody.
to see that he really exists, because right now he's pretty much a ghost figure
He
in
lives in
Asheville.
Tennessee.
I'm not sure about that myself. Well, thanks for having us on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And you're welcome back anytime.